Hey, it's Chris. Top of the episode. Here to thank some Patreon folks. You know who they are. We got Garth. We got Ben. We got Jeremy. We got Hovo. Hovo. We got Laszlo. We got Randy G. We got Thomas. We got Colby. We got Yam. We got Randy. We got Miles. We got Drowrin. And we got Taylor. I don't know why I want to say everybody's name's kind of funky, but I did. And yeah, that's where we're at. This is the recap of The Good Life. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you guys enjoyed our time with Delta Green. It is not coming to an end. It's just taking a break as we try something new and we dive into Traveler next. But we will be back with more dark thoughts in the future. We're giving Tyler a little bit of space, a little bit of time to get ready for a little campaign called God's Teeth, as we are going to destroy ourselves and our sanity and maybe friendships over this really fucked up campaign. Well, no, we're going to find out. I don't know how it's going to go, but it's going to be fun. I hope you guys enjoy this, and we'll see you next week with the beginning of our Traveler character creation. Bye, everybody.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fat Clouds pod.
Cloud chasing clouds, bro. Fat clouds all day.
Fun fact, one of the first versions of a actual play podcast I did was Tyler and I did a comic podcast called Comics Brew.
Oh, yeah.
And we did a series, we did a system called Worlds in Peril. It's like a Powered by the Apocalypse superhero. And I had the gang was a bunch of people who basically were like smoking like super
the big vape thing,
big vape things, and so they would make like smoke mechs, and like they were all like had vape based powers. Wow! So they would like hit you with like fat clouds and like disorient you.
That was a fun game.
Damn, dude.
Fuck yeah!
I was the electric bum.
Yeah,
and I was this guy who was like a county lineman and got zapped and got powers, but it also made him like crazy and weird and homeless.
Lineman.
Yeah, and he had a hideout called the E-Bums World.
it was in like a
junkyard, I think.
Junkyard.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
That was a good time.
I don't have any witty zingers about vaping.
I've never vaped, so
I don't know if any of y'all have ever heard of this like one funny YouTube video called Gary's Mod VapeCon 2016. But
no, but it's
so fucking funny. I'm gonna send it to you and you'll watch it afterwards.
Yeah, we will. Send it to the group.
That'll be good.
So yeah, this is the recap for The Good Life.
yeah.
That was a fun one.
Dude, that was
Questions?
crazy. Yeah.
So it was funny. It's like we were making character creation. Tyler and I had mentioned like, oh, maybe we'll like play off the ghoul thing, because ghouls are like, I think the thing with in Louisiana has like always been my favorite part of the Delta Green. Like I think it'd be cool to run a scenario during that time, but it wasn't until later like when they started sharing The Good Life and I saw the cover. And like the cover's a dead giveaway of what you're going up against. I was like, oh, I know what that is. Okay. So now I got to act like I don't know what it is. And, like have it happen naturally and progressive like through the story.
Right.
Yeah, immediately I was screaming internally.
When we start talking about
What made you choose this one? What made you want to run that?
Every one that I was reading, it didn't look like it was too good for like a podcast. There was a couple of ones where it was all the operations were really contingent on one thing. You guys going to one building at one time and talking to one person.
Right.
Wow. And this is a lot more open-ended. This book, the author John Scott Tynes. I have really never read one like this where it's like really open-ended. It gives a general layout of what's going on, and then everything else is kind of just up to you to fill in the blanks, and that seemed fun.
So just kind of an open-ended one is why you wanted to go with it.
Yeah.
So then here's a question: did we get all the info of like what was actually happening?
I mean, not really. You guys, for instance, like the car crash, you guys knew something was fishy with it, and then kind of like left it. And for a while, you guys assumed like something was fishy at the funeral home, and then just kind of left it for a while. Which, I mean, that is just what happens. But there's quite a bit that it was just kind of like, I need you guys to have this information to get the story going. Right. So yeah.
So you were happy when I just like yeeted it into the funeral home and just like, you know what, I'm going in there solo.
Yeah. Because the crazy thing is this book. And like, it always seems like a good idea and then it never turns out, right? But like this book is, just so you guys know, 100% revolving around Abigail. This book is laid out for you guys to find out she's lying the first time, then confront her, and then she lies to you again. And then that leads to the big escalation of things, but you guys never went back to confront her. You guys said, like, I'm not going to trust her. And that's totally fine. That's understandable. You guys were like, I'm not going to trust her. She obviously lied to me. So why would I go back?
Did we detect that she lied? I forget. Like, did we? I forget.
Well, you guys found Henry. And when you guys found Henry, you never said, like, we know Henry's alive.
Yeah,
why are you lying to us?
I think we were afraid because, like, we don't have proof. So it was always like, it was very much, and having met, like, Ashcott, he was very much like, you don't have a legal premises to be here.
Yeah.
And so I think that to me was like, well, yeah, my character wouldn't be smart enough to know like how to get around that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I guess I
That's kinda where I
never.
was at,
We always thought the butler was like more of the person in charge.
And he technically, do you mean Butler as in like Jeremiah Ashcott? He technically was. It was like they were in charge, but the book is laid out for you to not really be as concerned with him as Abigail, because Abigail is like, I'll tell you what you want to hear. I might be lying, but I'll tell you.
Holy
and Jeremiah's
shit,
like, I'm not going to fucking tell you shit.
Damn. We slept on Abigail for sure.
Yeah.
So is that where the main schism of the book is? Like, is it like the new world of ghouls versus the old like patriarchy of the ghouls or something?
Yeah, so essentially what happens in the book is you guys find out Abigail's lying the first time, and then you confront her, and then she breaks down and says these people kidnapped Henry.
Right.
They're holding him hostage. They want $1 million. I'm trying to get the money together. You need to meet them tomorrow night at the funeral home. So she tries to stage this huge conflict at the funeral home, which would hopefully wipe out Richard and William using you guys.
Which did happen anyways.
Right.
We did it so good.
Which, like, that's why I had her call you guys after that encounter, because I was like, I need them to talk to her because she will lead them down. She didn't even have to lie. She was telling the truth about the whole thing. You guys just didn't ask. Like, why do you want, do you really want him gone for, like, your own personal gain?
Right.
Or do you want him gone to save your brother? And in the book, it outright says, like, she'll leave her brother. She fucking does not care.
Yeah,
she is only concerned about Richard and William, getting
That's
the
pretty
axe.
rad.
Yeah.
That's dope. I
like it.
All right. We didn't, we could have done that better.
We don't often, I don't think we ever really confront NPCs with their lies.
Exactly.
We hardly ever
it's
like.
not something that happens that often in these games.
But it's a good, I mean, that's the fun part, right? Is like parsing what they're saying, thinking about their motivations, and
like we might know they're lying, but we like never go up to them and be like, we know you're lying.
Yeah, because you guys
try
are
to work around.
You guys are also lying, so you don't want to be caught up in that
Yeah.
world of like, if they find me, shit.
I think I remember wanting to ask and saying this out loud. I mean, it's recorded. We can go back. I remember wanting to ask, like, what is your end game? And then everyone being like, oh, she wants to save her brother. And I was like, I guess that makes sense, but I should have just pushed.
What did
I mean, she probably would have. Yeah, I guess you're right. She probably would have lied there.
Would the
and then-
humans mattered on her?
Good job.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, she was.
Because outside the game, it's like, I don't know if it would, because they're not humans.
There was definitely certain things that I took out of the book because I knew you guys knew about ghouls, and I knew you guys weren't like using meta knowledge, but there were certain things where I was like, well, if I say this, they're just gonna know. So I just completely left that out.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, and that was a hard part for me, was like making sure I didn't want to say something like, I know I've run campaigns with ghouls, so I'm like, okay, I need to make sure I'm gonna let you guide what we know, and like I'll just say the basics of like they eat flesh, they live underground, and like leave it there because that's all realistically Oak would know. And then I thought that was really cool how it played out, how we learned more and more and more, and kind of fleshed it all out as it went along.
I just like pretending to be like No, you just shoot them and they die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
exactly,
great.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
'Cause that's all he did. But
Yeah.
quick question: William/Jeremiah said they're in their end game now.
I was just bullshitting.
Yeah.
I didn't know
was
like
just trying to-
they were just like hopping bodies every couple years or whatever.
No. I think in the book it says that he's been Jeremiah for like 100 years or something like that, and no one has like
Questioned it.
and they all just like are cool with it. But there's no real body hopping. They will like, if they have the ability to, they can transform, but for the most part, it's just them like dominating their second born kid and then using that host body as a ghoul for immortality.
So ghouls typically, if they eat your brain, they have access to all of your knowledge and everything.
Right.
So like anything that you know, they know.
Yeah.
So if they eat so if they ate one of our brains, they would instantly know about Delta Green. They would know about your family. They would know about the mission, and then they can also take on your form.
And that's like
which
the
is like
danger.
there's a process for them. There's like a ritual they do to turn into like
Holy
cause
shit.
you.
Dude, cool.
That's
So
why
they
they
speak
gave us
in
the grenades.
clicks, but we hear it as like human language, essentially. Like I think that's how it works. Is like they
think
always
so.
talk. They
I
don't
think so,
like everything
yeah.
they say is clicks. They just have this magic that like allows us to
what?
understand what they're
Right.
saying.
Oh, that's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Is there anything we particularly squirreled on that you had to think on your feet for that you kind of were irritated with?
I mean,
Dan.
I was like pretty like trusting in the book that that you guys would follow the Abigail storyline, and when you didn't, I definitely had to figure out what I wanted to do. So probably that.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
It happens. I mean, same with like when I
Exactly.
ran the last one I ran. Like, it all focuses around getting to the building and going through the construction site, and you guys could give fuck all about the construction site.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, I'm only going to be able to give you so much information until you get there and talk to these motherfuckers.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah. And so you're just trying to like fish clues along until they can get to the right place. And that's kind of what I was saying about the other adventures I read. It was like, if you don't go to like this park or something in these other books, it's like you don't, like you're playing this game for 45 hours. You're never going to figure out what the point is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Question that did you say you have something?
No,
Meescha?
no,
Okay.
go for
So about Abigail's like taking over, was her flavor of ghoul leadership any like much different than the other old one? Like, what was the difference? I guess.
yeah, she was being honest and saying that she was going to stop the entwining process, which was the dominating of the second kid. So she was like, she again, like was being honest when she was saying like, I'm cool with people having immortality. That's fine. As long as they do it ethically and just become a ghoul.
Become a ghoul and then just eat corpses and you're fine.
Yeah. Just, I mean, you're fine.
Where
And
were they
then
getting the corpses that they were eating?
the funeral home?
Yeah.
So the funeral home, I thought the funeral home was just for Druid Hills.
Well, the funeral home is for anybody who wants to and can afford to be buried there, and every grave is full of marble. Meescha wanted to exhume a couple graves. They're all full of slabs of marble,
So like they just
not bodies. Yeah.
not bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just take them.
Yeah, we need 'em.
And you guys didn't ask, but in the book it specifically says that they don't embalm. They don't do any sort of embalming or anything like that for the corpses out of like tradition.
but really it's so they don't spoil the meat.
Exactly, so they can make it into charcuterie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Damn.
And so if we
Tasty.
ate too many pieces, is there some option in the book where you become a ghoul or?
No, their process for becoming a ghoul, like it takes like months. Like you have to eat like a piece of human flesh like once a week for like 4 months.
I was wondering if
And
it
do
would like
rituals.
allow them to like control part of us or something like that. If we ate too many. Or something.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool.
That'd been interesting.
Yeah. So okay, so she has a better form, or at least that she's not doing the transferring domination of the bodies. But like, just so I know, is she like actually pretty bad too? Like is she trying to like convert like people
Part of
into
the
ghouls?
KKK, dog. Yeah, she's
Well,
bad.
other than that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
she is. She was fully willing to sacrifice her little brother. She did kill her parents, and then she said it was because of the entwining, and that is probably part of it. But she was like, "I want to be in charge." Like,
Who was the other jar? Go back to that.
the AR.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I just made it up.
okay,
I just completely made it up. Yeah, it says, and that's one thing is like it says there's 3 jars when you go in there, but there's not enough detail that says like this is what it says.
Gotcha.
On the jars. So I just made it up. Yeah.
nice. So the clear liquid, like I forget. Did we already have like the full end to end of that? Like how does the
No.
ritual work, and what is
So
the liquid, and
What
like
they
why?
do is they take a brain and they brine it
Oh, that's what I thought.
in a pickling solution.
Yep.
And then they take that in a syringe, and then they plug it in the victim's nose, and then like squirt the liquefied brain into their brain, and it takes over their brain.
Hell yeah, that's
It's cool. It's pretty cool. Very cool.
And so wait, they melt down their own or someone else's brain? No, yeah, someone else's brain.
So
and then,
when like the
Got
guy, when the patriarch dies, instead of like,
gotcha.
they take his brain and then they pickle it and then they inject it into their
Gotcha.
Yeah, because our brain's like 90% fat. I think that's a fact.
I don't know.
No,
I'm
that sounds
pretty sure
right.
that's a
No,
fact.
that's pretty. Yeah, sounds right.
I learned that from Hannibal. Bingo.
got fat head.
Yeah.
They all did this in the name of Nyarlathotep.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
going to ask
Tell
who
us
their
about
odd
that.
god was.
Yeah. So
Nyarlathotep.
they believe that Nyarlathotep is like at the center of the world, like devouring the core of the planet. And they like, it says like if you spend your time just thinking on Nyarlathotep or like praying on it, that's what turns you into a ghoul.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
like consuming human
Okay.
flesh and then like thinking on and praying about Nyarlathotep.
God damn.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wow.
And that was the thing that came up the iron plug.
Was
Oh, yeah.
the tendrils of okay.
Yeah, they call it a polyp.
Yeah.
Nyarlathotep.
Ugh, I hate that. Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so in what's the plug in the cemetery? Was there a same thing there for it? Is that from the original time they summoned it? And
Yeah, I
desecrated?
don't know. It doesn't say. It just says there is a plug. There.
Yeah.
So they must have been when they desecrated all them.
Right.
All
I would
the
think.
bones.
Oh yeah, so that really was just like desecrating Northern soldiers.
Yeah, they just,
That's incredible.
yeah, there
Damn,
was
dude.
like a mass grave like somewhere in the north, and they were like, "This is ours now." And then they ate all of the bodies,
Right.
out of disrespect, and then saved the skulls.
Yeah.
That's
all right.
fantastic.
Was the white supremacy website like from the did you make that up or was it from the book?
I just made that up.
Okay.
They were also going to have you sign up for the Heritage Homecoming, and I
okay.
forgot. I forgot.
What would have happened?
I did sign up for that on the website. Yeah.
They would have just been like, "Come join our march."
What would have happened if we went to Michigan to see the Gray Malcolm School?
It was a boarded up insane asylum.
Oh.
So from GPS photos, it looks like
A school.
like without buildings and a big. But once you get there, it's like all fenced up and all boarded up.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
That's
amazing.
pretty cool.
Yeah. I was pretty close to be like, I'm just flying there. Like, I'm just going to
yeah.
go there.
I thought it was gonna be cool, and then you guys were like, "I think I'm just gonna see if it's call forwarding,"
Yeah.
which it was. It was as simple as like it's literally just a forwarded number, and that's all. They
Damn.
weren't even like trying that hard.
Wow.
Yeah,
That made me laugh. I was just like, let's give this a shot.
yeah,
I was like, oh fuck yeah.
yeah.
I feel smart.
What kind of actual FBI or law enforcement connection did they have? Like Devers is a ghoul?
Devers is in the cult, and I think she's on her way to ghouldom, but I don't think she's a ghoul right now.
Gotcha.
Just paid enough money yet.
But her
Yeah.
parents were both ghouls.
Oh.
They were involved. And then it's not in the book, but it's just like in my mind there's like judges and politicians and like
Right.
like the important people live there, and then they live there because of the Venables.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, that's wild.
Was
So everybody in Druid Hill's part of the cult?
No, there's a lot of them that are a part of the cult, but the rest of them know something is going on and don't talk about it because they're too afraid of like being kicked out.
Gotcha.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the whole like letting you into the closed garden like thing where like I guess that like one lady that we talked to whose kid was like 21 or whatever and graduated, like was it that case where you're essentially like identified and brought into the community and you get like a nice house or whatever?
Yes, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So they pick like everybody, they like the Venables will buy the house that goes on sale and then just like choose whoever they want to sell it to, and then you're like made.
Wow. Okay.
That would have been really cool seeing if the husband came home and we're like, that's the son. That would have been a really cool giveaway.
Yeah,
too.
that'd have been tight.
Be
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
No, I thought I really liked everyone's characters this time. I thought everyone did a really good job with it.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how Henry was one of the main characters and didn't say a word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we ever heard his voice.
Only clicks.
Just clicks and grunts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the thing that gave me away. Once you went to that room and the smell, it's like, okay, this is fucking ghouls. Like this confirms exactly what I think it is.
Yeah, and in the book it does specifically say that he spends all of his time playing Minecraft, and if you happen to go onto his Minecraft servers, you can see that it's like just the ghoul warrens, like underground.
That's crazy.
That's pretty
then you
cool.
could use that as like a map. Holy shit, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
It's not block for block accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, I don't get Minecraft.
You
yeah.
get down there and it's just torches on the left hand side.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
I know how to get back now.
So if we failed and they got Henry and they injected everything and then the black goopy tentacle stuff, what would happen after that if we failed?
He would have become his dad, and then I would have made something up.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right.
Did you have multiple endings planned, or you just pull it all out on the fly?
Well, I pretty much just had the two. In the book, there's a paragraph that says, like, cut a deal. Then a paragraph that says kill them all. And a paragraph that says, like, die trying.
So what was the
save Henry?
What was the cut a deal? Like, what kind of deal could we have cut that they would accept?
Yeah, good point.
I don't know. I was
No,
willing
I mean,
to make a
so
deal.
they didn't like give examples. It's just like that is just an option.
Exactly.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And it's like, you can, it says in the book, and we all know, it's just like, read your group. Like, you know who you're playing with. If they're going to cut a deal, you can kind of get that sense. If they're not, you can really get that sense. If they're like, I'm not fucking trusting that at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, I figured you guys were on the kill 'em all stage after Jeremiah. And then I figured you guys were on the cut a deal stage after I had you talk with Abigail.
Yeah.
I think Oak was always like hesitant to do it.
Right.
And I hope I played that well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Orion was 100% on the kill 'em all in the end.
Right.
Yeah.
But the short term, like, all right, here's the deal. We'll get these two, and kids will stop disappearing, and then I'll come back later for the rest of you.
Yeah. Which, like, essentially does happen. Kids stop disappearing.
Yeah, that's good.
So we got like a D maybe. We like kind of made it better, but not by much.
That's actually the whole point of the book.
Yeah, is it?
Unfortunately. Like,
okay.
it does say, like, this is supposed to be, like, a non-victory.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's supposed to be,
Don't
like...
win.
Yeah.
Like, instead of there being like, kids they're still a shitty ghoul run KKK chapter.
Right.
Fucking,
If we did kill Abigail, like let's say we caught her in the lie and we killed her too, what would have happened? Is there some
No
other
more Venables?
person that would have stood up and been the leader of the ghouls maybe?
Yeah, do you mean before or after you killed Richard and William?
I mean, yeah, let's say we killed all three because we're like, no, fuck you. And also we know you're lying and you want to be a leader. So fuck you and kill her.
Then I don't know. I don't think anybody would have stepped up as far as, like, leadership of the cult. I think it probably would have just...
Like
Mutual racism.
Right, because
Camaraderie.
a lot of the ghouls that are there actually came from other graveyards that heard about this, like, ghoul sanctuary underneath Atlanta.
which is
So,
wild
like,
because like that was the thing I made for Tyler and I when I ran that. I ran that home game. The whole thing was that like one of the brothers bought this town in Colorado and was like developing underneath the ghoul city, and like they were trying to give off this whole like, oh, come move here, like everything's gonna be paid for. It's this utopia. And then, like, everyone that would die would feed into the ghouls.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, that was a cool one.
Very much like this.
Yeah,
Kind of
exactly.
wild.
Exactly.
Weird. Yeah.
That's cool.
crazy.
So yeah, that was the big gist of it.
And what was this called? This one?
The Good Life.
The Good Life, yeah.
It's interesting to see to me, it seems like they always release stuff in, like, kind of chunks. So, like, for instance, Dead Letters, they released about the same time as this. And there's like a full on like Nazi organization in the storyline that you can potentially run into. And so this was like really tied into white supremacy.
Oh yeah.
And then they did another one at this time they released that I was actually going to run instead of the one I ran, but it was built around 2 agents instead of 4, like 3, like your typical thing.
Oh, interesting.
And it's meant to be like an introduction into, but it takes place in the South. And it's this wild fucking story. It sounded really cool, but I was kind of like picking up on those themes. I'm like, okay, all right. So like, they just released a bunch of God's blanks to go along with like God's teeth. They have like God's voice, God's eyes, and all this stuff.
Yeah,
So they have always like it seems like they released in like 3 or 4 chunks. So they're all themed.
That chunk, the gods ones, they're actually mentioned in God's teeth.
Yeah, they're like side missions that you can do as part of God's teeth.
Which I need to get those side missions.
So
this book is pretty similar in that like it has maybe 5 or 6 call outs for
I think they're getting more common with that, where they're trying to tie in all the different stories.
Right. It's like characters from A Night at the Opera and things like that. So you can like really extend this as far as you want. It doesn't need to start and stop at the Venables. It can start at the Venables and then go wherever you want.
Did it
doesn't
mention
even
the
need
like
to be
Del Montes or anything in there?
Yeah, it straight up says, okay, so I'm actually on the paragraph right here. So she directly talks about the Keepers of the Faith and the DeMontes in cutting a deal. She's like, I know that you guys have done this before, and then she gives these specific examples.
That's fucking
That's cool.
That's so wild that we did that.
Yeah.
Like that just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. And You tied in the vulture, so there are more
Yeah.
tie-ins. That was really awesome. Yeah.
I tried.
That was pretty good.
No, it was great.
But yeah, the car accident was her. So I guess one thing is like she found out that she is ancestors with this witch from Salem named Abigail Prynne.
Okay.
And Abigail Prynne started the first Niagara cult in Salem, Massachusetts with a bunch of witches. And then when people thought that they were killing them, they would actually just turn into ghouls and then leave. And then they opened up a portal to this place, and then they founded this cult over here. She found that out, Abigail, and then stole that like black book
Grimoire.
from the library, and then learned withering and like bug swarm, it's called.
Do withering. I was up to dominate. I thought she was going to try to dominate me and like make me shoot myself.
Yeah, that would have been time.
Yeah.
So.
Real quick, was there any way, like in story, that we would have found that stuff? Like, was there some place where like that was written, or is it just more like it's awesome to hear about it after the fact? But I was just curious if there was a place.
No, there's a lot of stuff in that
included,
where like the one that takes place in Oregon. There's a whole line of that where it's like these two guys originally part of like the Salem witch like warlocks, and then they left that group to come out here and all this crazy stuff.
That's
like,
cool.
You're not gonna. It just gives you history.
No, yeah.
So like I always try to play it up as like they're talking to this 9-year-old, and he's just like talked like, "Be gone with thee. I want nothing to be, nothing to do with you." I talked really weird, and nobody picked up on it. Like,
shit.
This guy's been around since like
right.
Yeah, why would So,
Like it would change a little bit, but not by much. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's cool. Like I think it should be like you get a little bit in game, and there are probably certain situations where having like a good lore dump on during the campaign is cool. But I also think it's awesome to hear about it after the fact. And like, and
I love that we don't know.
Super, yeah,
there's so much there that we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was a cool story. I thought it was really fun. I liked having to navigate. I was like so nervous of like fucking up with like anything that we were gonna get for like a search warrant. And does it say in the book like there's no way to get a search warrant at all?
Yeah,
like,
it does say that you can try to get a search warrant, and it's at a minus like 20 or 40%.
Okay.
And if you give pieces of evidence, like legal evidence, it goes up a little bit. But then it also, there's a sentence in there that says, story-wise, it's probably best if the agents don't get.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I thought that like it was that tough balance of like trying to not rile up a bunch of stuff, because I fully expected like cops to come after us.
I know.
I fully expected some crazy shit like them to come after us at night because we were like fucking up their potential plans. Like,
yeah, I was in the same boat with like the search warrant thing. I thought if we push it too far, then we would get cops on us.
Yeah, it would be like a straight up like they come after us at night, or they hire a group to come after us or something like that.
The biggest like source of analysis paralysis that ends up making you scared like that is like that. I think that particularly is being like, okay, I'm so scared of this neighborhood, and like every second I spend here, I'm like, I don't want to be here. Like that definitely looms over.
It's true with power though. Like that's the whole thing. Like it's very much. It felt that way. Like we're dealing with powerful fucking individuals who's never had to like they've always gotten their way. Like they have their own fucking cops that patrol there, and like
exactly.
I'm sure those cops have like busted people's skulls and shit like that. Like it's terrifying to think about. Like as you like my lady fucking works at like helps kids out. Like she's a social worker. There's like what's she gonna do against this monolithic fucking neighborhood of rich assholes who can do whatever they want? Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
So Jake, as a DM for the first time for us specifically, do you have any notes for us of things that you wish we would have done better, or
other than
continued?
the things that we clearly called out that were already missing?
No, I feel like it was a standard. Like you can never expect anybody to ask all the right questions in the book, especially in Delta Green, because like we said, there's so much that doesn't have anything to do with the story outwardly. That's really just kind of motivation for my role playing. So no, I don't think so. Like everything, like not necessarily talking to the right people or getting distracted. Like I think you guys did a great job. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. No, like I said, I thought I liked the characters this time around. I thought everyone did really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was. I want to play a character now that's like more headstrong, because I think all like or more action oriented, because like Oak was very much different than Ace.
Right.
I think all your characters are very headstrong. All
yes
of them.
No.
True.
Every
certain
single
ways.
one. Every single of the one headstrong.
I don't think Oak was super like I think I have an issue where like I'm used to being the DM and talking a lot, so I have to like focus and try to not talk a lot and like let like that whole last scene. Like when you guys confronted that guy, I'm like, I'm taking myself out of this because like I want to see what's gonna happen, like as much as Jake does. Like I'm just gonna do lookout and just let y'all do whatever the fuck's gonna happen,
right?
And see how this plays out.
But when Oak was like actually doing the interrogating, you definitely have like a you especially your character. I think in that moment made a lot of sense because of the whole ghoul thing. Like you were on point.
I was just happy she broke. I was looking so forward to that. Like I was like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. I'm just like, all right. Just gonna make her fucking swear a time. Trying to kill everybody.
I was really hoping I would get more than 2 point sanity loss at some point because then the megalomania is supposed to take over. And it's like it's described as like thinks his way is 100% the correct path forward. Whatever he's doing, anybody that question him like just invokes violent rage.
Right.
Like you're a leader. Like you're like overbearing confidence and like absolute authority.
Is there not a lot of sanity rolls in this game? It's just pretty...
No, and that's one of the things that was pretty vague is like it's really just left up to me.
Okay.
And at first for a long time like you guys weren't finding anything.
We weren't doing anything that deserved
yeah. So it is definitely not like a high sanity loss campaign.
No, that's interesting.
One thing, this is the last time before I forget, like hopefully I didn't feel like I was blowing people up too quick. Like I was hoping that if that was wrong, you would tell me because
it was by the book because so the thing that does actually kill them is driving them down below their hit points and then actually taking the next step to destroy their body, which like we didn't go over, but you guys were very thorough in saying like we have bags, we have potential for fire, we have like anything we want, and we have an axe, you know what I mean? So yeah, with the lethality rule, you're supposed to the thing that got it was a crit. You're just ignore lethality.
Right.
And then add the 2 points together. Yep. So, but once you start getting in, because each one of them had 24 hit points.
Wow. And I think they can regenerate if they bite you, right?
Exactly.
They rip and tear, they rip, and then they bite you, and they regenerate from biting you.
If they eat human meat, it's 1d8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have armor. Like they have armor.
Right.
Yeah. Like their ghouls
it was like their
nasty.
bones are like armor.
Yeah, they're like a thick hide essentially.
Gotcha.
Like thin.
So yeah.
But with the lethality roll, you're rolling up in like the 40s.
Well, that and the sniper has armor piercing 5 too.
There you go.
So ghouls are fucking awesome and nasty in this. That and Wendigos.
Yeah.
Wendigos are really fucking.
I haven't looked into Wendigos.
That's what I based the Predator off of.
That's tight. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that one was fun.
I took a lot of the stats from the Wendigo and kind of like fudged around. So
yeah, I didn't know it was an optional rule when I started talking about the called shot on the head,
right?
Because that was a big part of my strategy.
We've used it a ton though throughout the game.
Okay,
it's not something new to us.
All right. I just didn't want to make sure I didn't want to accidentally because I got some good rolls and we had a good setup, but I didn't want to trivialize it. You know what I mean?
No,
but you also missed a bunch there.
Oh, I missed
exactly.
You were missing a ton. So
that's the whole thing is I'll definitely.
I'm blaming you for my character dying.
Yeah.
I would much rather do whatever the book says, compared to being like, oh, it's not. He's killing him a little too quick for me. Like he rolled a 40, but I'm gonna make him live.
Yeah, exactly.
The book says that's how you kill him. That's how you kill him.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is there something specific that you wish you would have triggered just so you could enact it, like some booby trap?
Yeah. Anything that you were looking forward
That's a
to
really
that
good question.
we didn't hit?
I was looking forward. I was really looking forward to you guys confronting Abigail about her lying, and then her still trying to convince you that Henry's been kidnapped, even though he's right upstairs.
Yeah.
Because then, how would you guys reckon with that? Who's actually telling the truth? Was it actually Henry upstairs?
Right.
Yeah, but understandably, you guys just went straight to investigating more, and then Jeremiah, which I do think that all fell into place really well.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to investigate more, so you go to the funeral home, then all that shit happens. So logically, you're like, okay, the owner of the funeral home or the guy who runs it, we need to talk to him, not Abigail.
Yeah.
And he was a good villain. He was a good red herring villain. Fuck that guy. You did a great job with him.
Thank you.
He was smarmy as fuck, and I wanted him to die. From that first encounter, I was I can't wait till we kill this guy.
Yeah, just awful.
I am so excited for it.
Yeah.
And you played it perfectly, just his smugness,
Thank you.
The whole just oh, you got a warrant?
Thank you.
Cool. Fuck off then.
Yeah.
Bye.
He did convince Samuel, his brother, to take the brimstone heart ritual and become a thrall for the rest of his life. and then like abuse the shit out of him, would like beat the shit out of him and like almost kill him because he can't die.
Yeah.
And then like when he got tired of that, like he got another thrall like in the community, just a random like community leader. And he was keeping him. He keeps him like up in his room. And when you broke in, I gave you an alertness check at the door to see if you hear him like hitting him or anything. And you failed.
So, yeah, I remember that. I was like, I don't know what that alertness roll's about, but I'm going to keep walking.
He is super, super evil. And then if you tell him like, hey, Abigail was trying to set you guys up and is trying to kill you, he doesn't even believe you. He's so loyal to the Venable family that he's like, there's no way my own family would try to get me out.
Yeah.
So he is he's a good tool.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, tool and a tool.
Yeah.
Double meaning.
Well, this was a really fun campaign. I enjoyed it. I liked. It was just really different than what we're kind of used to. Usually, it's just like Cthulhu God or whatever. But like ghouls, it's like, oh, that's a new encounter.
That is why I wanted to pick this one too. I'd been reading a lot of the same stuff, and I was like, "Those are cool."
It's always Nyarlathotep or Yogg-Sothoth.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was a nice change.
Nyarlathotep.
Yeah. So yeah, that was The Good Life.
That was a good one.
Good shit. That was awesome, man.
Good times. Thank you for running that.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Job.
Thank you.